Hello, and welcome to Boot Camp Unit 12B, Triangles and Irregular Shapes. We've talked about parallelograms and circles in the previous module, so we're going to cover the last fundamental shape here, triangles. Triangles are three-sided shapes, and the important thing about triangles is that they have a height and a base. The formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Why the 1/2? If you look on the left here, we have a rectangle, and we only really want half of it for it being a triangle. So if the triangle is half of the original shape, the area should also be half. And that's why we have 1/2 base height as the area of our triangle. On the bottom here, you'll see an example. We have a base of 3 and a height of 4. The area of this shape is 1/2 of 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and half of 12 is 6 units squared. Moving on to irregular shapes. Irregular shapes are things that aren't very common. If you take a look at the one on the left, we have just 4 little kind of triangles, but kind of curvy. The one right next to it is like a tire. And the one on the right is kind of like 2 building blocks, 2 Legos put on top of each other. How can we find the area of these shapes? We have to be smart. We have to break these down into shapes that we know what their areas are. On the left, we see that we have a square and a circle. If I take the whole area of that square and take out the middle, I'll have what's left. That kind of cues that this is subtraction. So the area of the blue is the area of the square minus the area of the circle. The area of the square, length times width, is 64. And the area of the circle is pi r squared. 4 squared is 16 pi. So our area is 64 minus 16 pi. This we cannot put together because pi is not very nice unless we round. The one right next to it, we have 2 circles. In the same vein, we can do the area of the outside circle minus the area of the inside circle to get the area of our little tire. On the right, with our 2 little Legos, that thick solid line is separating this shape into 2 smaller ones, into 2 rectangles. In this case, notice how the top rectangle has a length of 4 and a width of 4. It has an area of 16 square units. On the bottom shape, we have 6 times 4. Well, that's 24. So the overall area will be 24 plus 16. Otherwise known as 40 square units. On the top, you see another commonly irregular shape. This is a trapezoid, and there actually is a formula for this. It's complicated. It is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 in parentheses times the height. That's complicated. Let's try to get around that by breaking it into 2 triangles and a rectangle in the middle and adding them all up. So we can get to pretty much any shape that we want by breaking it down or decomposing it or adding it up into other shapes that we do know the areas of. With that being said, that is Unit 12B and irregular shapes.